night that you can tell.
I'm so glad I wasn't touched while I was sleeping.
We're
I have a
we're
scarf.
choice.
Kill
I
people.
would want to be awake for that.
Yeah. Oh, you'll find Rose. You have a bird cage for Scarf, pending name.
Alright, that's probably a good thing. I don't want to try and murder people when
I
I hit
can-
3rd level.
I was trying to find like an aquarium sort of deal because the idea of having a cage as bars to
It just slips
stop
through.
a scarf is kind of but you have a bird cage to represent something possible that can possibly stop your scarf from strangling your roommate in your sleep.
From trying to kill people.
I like to think the whole thing though is the scarf doesn't know it can go vertical.
It never learned about verticality.
I mean, the thing is, right now, if I'm correct, your scarf, I can't remember how much intelligence it starts with, but if it follows familiar path, it might only have 6 intelligence.
I don't even think it has intelligence until 3rd level, so I just kind of...
Yeah, so right now we can count it as a mindless creature. It doesn't know it can go vertical.
Exactly.
I love it.
I just kind of play it as something having some sort of weird semi-conscious, because I mean, eventually I'll have a conscious anyways.
I mean, we can say it has the intelligence basically of like a fly. It's
Yeah,
intelligence. Just let's have this. Let's be honest. Flies can't get out of a simple box either. So
it does start with an intelligence of 10 when it does actually gain proper
oh
intelligence.
no, it's going to weaken.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of doing with Rusty. Rusty's going to get the ability to speak. So I just gave him really rudimentary speaking because it would make 0 sense for Aaron to program the dog to talk like a dog.
Yeah, and it's not like James who just like
Ruh-roh
found
raggy.
his sword. I have my character start with her weird weapon, so
Also,
Well, James started with his sword. It was
it just like the body and spirit soul thing didn't like inhabit until later though.
right. Yeah, no,
This
it was
thing
just
has the thing inside it already.
oh, actually, one moment. There's something else I need to quickly.
Don't worry, I'm viciously scrambling to make tokens of people that I forgot to do before the session.
Big time. We'll yammer.
I need a trait
Cool.
still.
It's
I also
the
never
entire
rolled
reason.
my character's gold. It's fine, I'd give her average. Listen, I will keep saying I need a trait until the end of time.
It's true.
Because I just don't know what to take, and it makes me anxious. And when I make that choice, it'll be locked in, like set in stone.
And then you'll just think you got the wrong one.
Yeah.
I fully acknowledge that.
Also, J-Mate, just to confirm, we were turning stamina on, weren't we?
Yes, we're using stamina because it's good.
In that case, everyone, so I'm going to quickly post something in chat here for you to make it easier. So I've installed it on my own one. I'm going to post the equation in chat so everyone can just add it to their custom variables. Just put it in the same box so everyone's consistent if you can. Unless you've already...
So 3rd box.
Yeah, third box in the 3rd row. The thing is, you want to use those bottom 6 boxes because those ones are the ones that will calculate correctly. You see, I have a lot of equations in my blood reach.
That one.
Yeah, then it also means if Jim wants to add the bars for stamina, if he can do the same bar for everyone, he doesn't have to search for what variable.
It's not equating me properly. I already broke it. You give me math.
It's not equating for me at all.
It should be, because I literally paste it into mine and
it might just be that you don't have any stamina.
Do you have any con?
I have con.
I should have. Yeah, I've got 1 con. No bad, but 1 con.
I have 14, so I should have.
We can worst case deal with it later, but I mean, for now you should have like 1 or 2 or however many.
Essentially, I copy paste it straight in and it works immediately. So
yeah, I'll go poke a bit later.
I got mine. Rose, make sure you're not doing the same dumb thing I do, and you don't copy the stamina equals bit.
I am stupid. I see it. You hear the silence of oh.
Yeah, you don't need that bit. That's fine.
Let's see. I have a plus.
All of us did the same thing.
One moment. Let me make it clearer. There you go.
Thank you, Durkee. I'm sorry. I was told to copy paste the thing. I copy paste the entire
Oh,
thing. Did I do good?
that's fine. I made the assumption that you guys knew how the variables worked.
Oh hell no! I don't touch those things. You
Yeah.
scare me.
I did it right the first time, but the thing is, I don't have stamina anyway because low stats.
Wolf, meanwhile, I currently have 4 stamina.
It's a good thing you can't go into negative stamina.
I mean, technically you can.
Yeah, there is ways.
Like if you start with like 8 con and no bab, you're technically got -1 stamina.
It doesn't do anything to you,
No,
does
It
it?
doesn't do anything. Though weirdly, technically, if you follow the rules as written in argument, that would mean you'd have permanent fatigue, but we're ignoring. That's done.
Also, my Discord, weirdly enough, didn't turn on streamer mode, but it's fixed now.
Keep in mind, when you're fatigued, you cannot regain stamina. You also cannot use stamina while you're fatigued.
It would be fitting for Aaron, but also that'd be awful all the time, horribly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and right now everyone has access to whatever their feats grant them, if any. And the movement rules from Lost Legacy alongside just flat out attack, which is standard.
I am tired enough that when you mentioned feats, I just panicked. Do I have feats? I don't know why I panicked about that, because I know I do.
You have 2 feats.
Feet?
I have 4 feats. I have many
3.
I need to figure out. Oh, I know.
I
what
have 4
have.
feats.
I have 1.
I
2,
have 3.
because I'm not a hero. I have 0 hero points. I can never gain them, so I
I
have
got
2.
5 if I was anti-hero.
And you can always get the feet to get hero points, which is why I'm fine with you swapping that out.
Never
Yeah,
happening.
but you don't have to, but like you can. So therefore, I feel it's a bit fair.
Oh, okay. Well, I suppose I might get it when one of my classes actually grant me craft construct.
One day I'll figure out where I'm actually going with this build.
Yeah, I'm quickly doing a scan over to see if any of my feats have a stamina use. I think that's...
Yes, it's a good thing. Oh, one thing I will note: have you seen the stamina use for fucking improved unarmed strike? What the fuck?
Have you seen the one for improved for whip?
No, but no, because me.
Yeah.
Wait.
I actually don't know what it is for improved armor strike.
For improved strike, when you deal non-lethal damage with arm strike, you can spend up to 5 points of stamina. To deal with the amount of additional non-lethal damage, you can double the amount of stamina you spend.
Oh.
So that's like a potential 10 more like knockout damage.
Ooh,
Deck a
that's-
person. Wow. Okay.
That might be really good with the non-lethal damage rogue.
I don't know if it's the most efficient use of stamina, but it's at least it does nothing else badass when you knock someone out in one punch.
It's very scary for you all right now if you're like 8 to 10 hit points, or
I mean,
in
yes,
most
of
case, a bunch.
We're level 1. Everything is scary to us.
No, but put this in context. Though. If Wolf had improved arm strike right now as one of his 4 feats, he could instantaneously deck anyone. Because he has got full stamina.
Yep.
So
Yeah, basically.
Biggs, aren't you going to be able to do that soon with your force punch?
That is not an unarmed strike. That is technically mage hand doing the damage.
But you require to use the unarmed strike feat to do it, right?
I require the unarmed strike, but it's still not improved unarmed strike doing it.
I don't think that matters.
It is the
I think
magic trick feat doing it.
matters, actually.
Maybe I
think
should harass Jim
just a
back and
requirement.
intimidate.
Also, it doesn't by raw do non-lethal damage.
there
I've
we
just
go.
been flavoring it like that. Because it's technically still a spell effect. If I got like a meta magic rod of
Merciful.
lesser merciful, or just learn the merciful meta magic, then I could do it just fine, since it doesn't increase level. But by raw, no, it doesn't. I could not do it. And even then, I don't think it counts as an armed strike, because armed strike is a specific type of attack.
I just want to look at something quick. Sorry.
Yes. Despite my 4 feats, and all of them being like, semi-combat related, none of them have endurance-based thing.
Oh.
One of them is endurance, in fairness, but none of
I
them have
just,
stamina. There you go. Yes.
I feel like I don't like that it's hobgoblin only, I can probably harass my lovely DMs because my lovely DMs are nice people. But there is a feat that makes it so that when you demoralize someone with a flail, you can extend how long they're shaken by a d4 of rounds, which is pretty fucking nice. And synergizes really, really well with the Intimanti build, obviously.
That sounds like you're gonna have to take a class for it.
Maybe? I don't know.
From what I've understood of what JMac you've been planning for this class thing, I think that's pretty well within the realms of things you could do.
I'm indeed back. But yes, that's vaguely the idea is the stuff you do will get you things, because things are nice and also you're working towards it.
I like things.
Yes, which I'll get more into after we do the roll call. Big B.
Hi.
Dark.
Yeah.
Get this gimmick already.
Are you the fucking
Torrin.
Spice Girls? What the
I
fuck?
don't know.
I think it's safe to say he is.
I mean, I didn't.
Okay, I dibs on Pumpkin Spice Girl.
Fuck, that's such a good name. Thunder.
Hello.
Rose.
Hello.
Sideline.
Sup.
God.
Sup, Vanilla Spice. How are you doing?
No, we're not doing this. Don't you bring back my past on me. But yes, first thing I do have to ask, since this is slowly going persona levels of, duration of time, do people just want to basically glance over the evening and go into the next day where new stuff will be available, and then just
Yeah.
leave the evening for
Sure.
in-time
Yep.
shit?
Unless anyone has
Fine.
a specific action they want to do, I'd say just glance over.
Like, yeah, you can always come back to it and do stuff in the downtime.
I would like to ask one question. Is there a particular person we were gossiping about?
Oh, the thingy nerd trio?
The nerd clique, which I am now dubbing it.
It was mostly Lillian bitching about people fighting on campus and saying how she really wants to go and start shit herself. There wasn't really particularly anyone in specific, but they would discuss the other people in your class. Nell, in particular, is very curious about Laszlo, from what you know, because he has done, as far as you're aware, he's done absolutely nothing but be like a statue for the entire night. Now, why do you have 5 hit points and 5 health? What have I done?
That reminds me. Should I reset all my stats to full?
Yes. If you've spent anything, obviously refresh it. 19.
Yay.
Fuck, I did.
Come back to me in my rounds of blood rage. I need you to regenerate.
That's fair.
I will be the godly powerful again for another 1 minute. Look, I've got exactly 10 rounds. It's 1 minute of blood rage.
Oh no, she literally does just have 5 hit points. Oops. Wow.
I could kill her in one hit, and I have a weapon that does like a d4 of damage.
I'm pretty sure
Please
we
don't.
could all knock her unconscious in one hit.
No bully.
You probably could all knock Ash unconscious in one hit.
How much did Ash have?
6.
6? Yeah, potentially.
Can you all see NPC hit bars and stuff?
No.
Okay,
No.
good.
We can see Prismelody and Rusty's, but that's it. At least I can.
No,
I
it
mean,
is.
They're not NPCs.
Yeah, they're that weird case of not quite NPC, not quite PC.
We should
I
be
mean,
able to see their health.
Oh,
bars.
that's
Yes.
They're still PC characters.
Yes.
So.
They're like PCB.
Game Act, there's a thing I forgot to ask you about.
We.
Do you see the beds in Ash's room and the free room? I was wondering if you could just swap those two.
Sure.
Ash wants the
Ash-
red bed.
Or just move. That works too.
There, now you don't have a neighbor.
That also works.
You do.
I don't know why my sleep-addled brain thought it was easier to move the beds than just move rooms.
And by the way, Ash does have a neighbor still.
Alright,
The smell of Wolf cooking in the morning.
oh. Even better.
Because he's going to be up early for breakfast because he needs one of his 6 meals a day.
Jesus Christ. But that is a very good point. If we're skipping over to the next day, how is everyone in the morning?
I probably need to eat maybe a little bit.
Up, active, and cooking up enough food for everyone.
Ash
I
is
was-
probably helping Wolf cook, honestly.
Yay, friend.
Alana was probably up at 5 in the morning. She
Yep.
is the opposite of me, and it hurts.
Ipos is probably
Yeah,
trying
no.
to sneak half-cooked bits of food.
You're getting your hand slapped.
Styles
It
wakes up
be
at dawn,
worth
but
it?
doesn't get out of his room until an hour later.
I have one assist. Anyone else assisting on cooking?
You don't want Ipos to try cooking, trust me.
Styles would not demean himself to cooking.
I hate him so much.
Lent.
You will have a few of the NPCs coming to help. Brighton, in particular, is up very bright and early, perhaps per his namesake. He's pretty proficient about the kitchen. He kind of just dashes about, chopping onions, doing that sort of thing very quickly.
Breakfast, everyone.
He's a bit of a hazard. You'll get an aid from Brighton.
I include them in.
Cool.
Yeah, breakfast.
So what has Wolf made?
Well, given Wolf's nature, firstly, it's a lot of food for everyone. Though I imagine the others would have toned back slightly, so it was not, wasteful levels. But essentially, there's a lot of stuff there that he would have made for breakfast. Everything from doing basically like pancakes to also for people wanting like basically bacon and eggs. And if you basically imagine everything in between, it's probably there. Some fruit, actually, as well. If there is, assuming there's fruit around that can be prepared into a nice breakfast dish.
The kitchen has basically a lot of everything in a sense. You get the feeling that probably ends up being like, oh, this is supposed to last us like maybe a week or two.
Basically, if you think about, if you go to like any restaurant, there's like a big, or any hotel, you have like a big buffet bar that has basically a little bit of everything. That's basically what the others come downstairs to seeing when Wolf's done. Especially with the others' help. Basically, help themselves to whatever the hell they'd actually want for breakfast. Because Wolf doesn't know what everyone likes, so he just made everything.
Ipos is not fussy, he eats a bit of everything.
And let's be honest, Wolf's not actually that fussy either, he just needs a lot of food.
Yeah, Ash probably similar to Ipos, just takes a little bit of almost everything. There's probably like one or two little things Ash doesn't take, but
Yeah, the others will definitely find that Wolf is proficient in the kitchen. Maybe he's not an expert. Like a lot of his skill, a lot of that came from is multiple hands in the kitchen able to help him. But he's a proficient cook. He could probably run like a little. He could probably cook for like a little tavern or something and make an okay profit. Not bad. But with everyone's help, they managed to get a lot done at good quality. Though I'm sure Silas will still put his nose up to it.
No. While Silas would not demean himself to cooking, he won't put your food down unless it tastes terrible.
I mean, with the group final of 21, it's not bad.
Then good, yes. He will
Yes.
say, yes, that this is acceptable. Actually, 21's pretty good, so he'd say compliments to the chef. And that's it.
Yeah.
meanwhile, this is the assistance that he got from Ash.
I assume you'll just take 10 on the assistants.
Oh yeah, that's what I did.
I'd like to say that Aaron is still asleep.
Though there is now the smell of food wafting throughout the entire place.
Yes.
The smell of bacon permeates all things.
I'm still unconscious, I'll say.
Alana might have a tiny fear of offending someone, but she's probably gonna look at the food and just take whatever she's most familiarized with, the smallest amount that she can possibly take, and then just be content.
Yes, I will take one bacon and one egg and one sausage, and I think that's good.
Basically.
No, I accidentally closed off roll 20.
You fool.
For the most part, most people come out as well. There are a few other Aaron cases, particularly Robert is apparently still asleep, and most of you can hear him through the walls as he snores loudly.
Goddamn
Perfect.
paper walls.
walls. We need to really innovate on that rune situation.
Indeed.
With Alana being down there, she'll see Staff kind of come down, and he has kind of big black bags under his eyes, and he just looks to Alana and says, "I ain't in the room, mate."
Well, there's a free room downstairs, right next to my room.
That sounds like a plan.
Who are you with, Steph?
Guess.
He kind of pauses for a moment, scratches his head, looks around at who's not here. Eric? Or is it Robert?
It's Robert.
Oh. I mean, is it too loud for you?
That's putting it lightly, yes.
I mean, if you really want, you can. I wouldn't mind swapping. And Lazo doesn't make much noise.
I'll decide at the end of the day. He just kind of tromps off and starts poking at the cooking. He does make some appreciative noises.
Which makes Wolf happy.
He does, however, look over to Silas and say, "How did you manage? Aren't you in the room next to him?"
Yes. However, I am adept at, well, not being kept awake.
Oh, by the
My
way,
sleep is disturbed that easily.
by the way, downside for Laz, no, Wolf probably snores as well.
That's how Wolf survived. Their snoring just formed a resonant frequency and cancelled each other out.
Like, it's probably not as loud as Robert is, especially given like his smaller frame. But you know, it's still definitely a noticeable snore.
Legend has it, if you stand exactly in the middle between the two, you get into a perfect silence area.
It's like a sleep, or what was it, some deprivation chamber.
Mm-hmm.
But it's only on a precise 1 foot square.
Yes.
But yeah, other people who don't come down. I mean, it's basically almost everyone but Robert. I guess Aaron's still asleep.
Aaron has technology. Bugs.
Yep. I do like from an image of Silas being like, "I'm adept at sleeping." He has like a cucumber mask.
I mean, that's
you're not wrong actually. Though not a cucumber, he has an actual sleep mask.
Yeah,
that has
no,
cucumbers
I
on
forgot
it.
the name for it. It's just I remember people put cucumbers over their eyes.
Yeah, I'm basically imagining that the way Wolf ends up sleeping himself, though, is probably basically like sprawled out, like limbs in every direction, mouth wide open, straight on top of the covers.
God.
The perfect target for cashews. Yes, it's a brand new day. The sun is up and shining. It's probably like, what, 7, 8 o'clock? There's stuff to do, should you wish to.
Wolf isn't too sure right now. He's just chowing to his third breakfast.
That's fair.
I need to check
You see,
if I
there
want to
was
swap
a
out
whole nother
spells.
breakfast table, but Wolf ate it. And the table.
You wouldn't eat at the table.
I would.
I mean, that's up to you, Ipos. You are the druid.
Now you say that, but I saw you eat that table.
No, Wolf won't have eaten the table. It's not that uncivilized.
I don't want to swap out
Well,
any
you
spells.
cooked it
What could
first,
be
at least.
useful?
Well, I'm going to describe a few things I've confirmed my exclamation token. Because there are a few events that, between talking with NPCs and just, existing, you would know about. Man, I really didn't save those, huh? There's, namely, a few events that you have heard about. There's one in the school library, which, per Mary's anecdotal evidence, was very easy.
Oh. What was it?
It's just like an assortment of riddles. You know, like just asking like what's golden and within a porcelain chamber and stuff like that. It wasn't hard.
Then I'll have to check that out myself. Thank you for your information.
That's no problem. Good luck, I guess. What? Piss?
Golden and in a porcelain chamber.
Oh, right. No. No.
A
I mean,
valid
that's your
answer,
criteria.
but not the one
Thank-
they're looking for.
Technically, yes, it is definitely something that could be an answer.
Look, now you're seeing how Wolf would answer these questions.
I suppose points for ingenuity. Okay. Yes. There's an event within the library. Silas, I don't know if you want to share what you found in the spell labs.
Yes, he
If
will.
you can remember.
Specifically to the more magically inclined around us. So probably Ash.
That was the magical Simon Says, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Maybe Celis.
Alana.
Oh.
Alana, yeah.
I'm offended.
Has not been changed on the
It
roll
was
20 yet.
changed. This is a different.
Yeah, this map hasn't been changed.
Oops.
I'm offended by the lack of recognition. That's the only thing character has to do with her spells.
Basically, no, not Aaron, not Wolf, and not Ipos because he's been hiding it.
Yes.
Well, do you specifically go to those people to talk about it, or do you just sort of announce it?
He's not going to announce anything. Unless he has something. Actually, no. He would actually announce it. He would announce that I'm seeking companions for aid in a trial of sorts. One in the magic lab. Sort of magical game of what goes next, as it were.
Magic game?
Looking for elementalists.
Ipos like game. Ipos good at
or
magic.
generalists. Well, what sort of magic do you have?
All magic.
I need you to be more specific. I highly doubt that you are proficient in all magic.
He sort of considers for a moment, counts off some things on his fingers. He gets through quite a few fingers and then just goes, all magic.
Right. I will keep you in mind then. Anyone else? Elementalists are greatly appreciated, as are universalists, abjurers. Any school of magic specialized would be helpful at the very least.
Alana seems a little unsure. Then we'll ask about spell combat specializing because that's really what her bread and butter is.
Any sort of magic. It does not matter if it's combat or not. From what I gathered, it's very generalist in what it's asking for. You just have to get lucky about what it wants, and hope that your people cover it.
I suppose I could look.
Well then what are your skills? I'll be holding interviews later.
She stares at him. There is deadpan silence from her as soon as he says that.
Specifically an hour before noon. I will be waiting here in the common room. In the common rooms on the couches.
Let's see. Today I have Conjuration, Creation, Force, Necromancy, Curse, Conjuration, Healing, Abjuration, Good, and Transmutation.
Then you may be of use. Please come by whenever at my designated interview time. Then.
What do those words mean?
Magic.
Oh, just different kinds of magic.
Wolf scratches
You know,
his head.
they're like, you know, all the different food groups.
Nods.
Magic works kind of the same way as that, you know, there's transmutation and evocation and conjuration. They're like the grains and protein and or well, meat, I suppose Ash would use terms. So it'd be like grains, meat, vegetable, that kind of thing.
Wolf not clearly understanding perfectly.
Ipos looks thoroughly confused. Despite being a caster, he has 10 intelligence, nothing in knowledge arcana, and nothing in spellcraft.
I have a question.
I'm not sure why I didn't put anything in either of them, but I didn't.
Doesn't do it.
It's like Ipos.
In fairness, you're also a sorcerer. It makes sense.
A sorcerer or druid.
Yeah, but druids are also not the most known.
Yeah. But he, despite using magic, he has very limited magical knowledge.
He just does magic.
Yes. Yes.
Any
beyond-
other events we need to be aware of?
Beyond the things in the spell labs in the library, you have heard that there's going to be there's going to be basically clubs showing off themselves at the merchant's lane. So you can always go there to find out what sort of clubs the school offers. Whereas, of course,
Where is that? Merchant?
it's right in the middle. Oh, I don't have that revealed, do I?
I see.
J-Mac.
This area. Okay.
Oh, at the whole Merchant's Lane area.
Yeah. Oops.
Yeah, it's revealed. It's got an exclamation mark.
Yep, that's just to show. I haven't showed the names in there. That's just to show that there's events in these locations.
Right.
There you go. You should be able to see.
Okay. Wolf's gonna go do clubs. He don't know magic and doesn't like
That's
libraries.
Well, a few more things before that. There's, of course, Velk will be back at the sparring hall, probably better than ever, you assume.
I got my crystal.
Yes, the golem.
But I got my crystal.
I think the idea is that you can always go get more. Nell kind of speaks up. Though, I mean, I assume it would be harder than on the first day now that people are starting to get together and, synergize, teamwork, yay. That's
Scratch the side of his head for a moment.
And I doubt I could convince the golem to help me again.
I mean, you could fight it this time. I beat it.
You're a lot stronger than me.
You're taller than me.
This is sound logic. I assume everyone who's taller than me is probably stronger than me.
It is sound.
I don't know, that's not really good logic in a fantasy setting, because dwarves are short and notoriously strong.
Yeah, but they make up for that in width.
I mean, in fairness, so does Wolf to a degree. He's not chunky, but certainly like same dwarf was his proportions. He's not heavy. No. Short but strong, and lots of con.
Speak of which, hold on. I did the PC's heights from the height compare thing a little bit.
What's that Wolf's correct height in there?
Yeah, he's like what, 5? He's not a lot. None of you are like particularly tall, and
Wow, really? Silas is the tallest? He's like 5'6".
I'm surprised I'm not the smallest.
Aaron
Yeah.
is a diseased halfling, thank you.
Yeah, Wolf's 5'2".
Yeah, jeez, really?
Though in fairness, Wolf is still growing.
Kids.
I mean, yeah.
Ash is
I know,
only
but-
5'4", so...
Ipos was 3 foot flat.
This is good to know.
honestly, the main outlier is the half orc, as you might expect, is like over 6 feet.
I remember before he was 2 heads taller than me.
Yes.
2.5, I think even.
Everyone else is kind of a mix of pretty short or, girl.
Wow, okay.
Well, girls tends to hit like, taller than boys sooner. And also, most of the girls in this class tend to be like somewhat elfin, so they're already kind of predisposed to being tall. Looking at this.
Don't worry, Wolf's only 13, he still has plenty of room to grow.
It's true. Also, I just realized I missed the trick of having Drow being incredibly short. Oh well.
Okay.
What?
When Wolf gets his next growth spurt, he'll probably end up being bigger than Ash.
Not unlikely.
It depends if all the food makes him grow up or outwards.
Mostly us.
Other than that, there's two events which aren't expanded upon. There's the one over here, to the left, and the one up at the top right.
Oh, up there.
Ooh, that's close.
Do we know what they are?
Not particularly, unless you specifically want to go check them out. And I guess for this one, since it's close by, you can kind of swing by. For those of you who were out yesterday and were passing back into the dorm, you notice those two people, the one with the grey ribbon and the purple ribbon and the grey belt, and they seem to be talking to a few other people, notably a gnome, not a gnome, a goblin, that's its name,
Wow.
and someone with a pretty large sword.
Sword.
Yes, it's a sword. Notably, the sword person also has a weird, funky, like metal mask thing. It's up to you if you want to go annoy them.
I'm sorry, I missed the thing about metal masks.
Oh, I was just saying that thingy. The people who you ran into yesterday with the grey belt and purple ribbon are talking to a goblin and a man with a large sword and some kind of metal mask.
Oh, yeah, no, screw those guys. We're going to avoid them.
That's fair.
I mean, we do kind of piss them off a bit.
You pissed them off.
Yeah.
I did nothing. All I did was grab my friend Nell and start walking and talking.
I flipped him off.
That's fair. So, let's see. People are heading to Merchant's Lane to presumably investigate the groups.
Yes.
Ipos is going to the magic show.
The magic show? Oh, right, via Spell Labs.
Yeah.
You want to watch the competition?
He's gonna complete the competition by himself because he's awesome.
Oh, hubris, the fall of man.
I mean, he can always do it again with a group later,
No,
maybe.
you can't because you'll be out of spell slots.
I mean, depends on what spells I use.
It's true. You could just like flub it at first and be like, no, I'll just come back. Okay, we'll start off with the group in the middle of Merchant's Lane. Even with it being pretty early, maybe like, 8 o'clock-ish, there's still actually people out. Maybe not as much as you'd expect, but there are stalls set up. Notably, there's like banners showing off what they are, stuff like that. Are any of you looking for anything in particular, or shall I just rattle off a few names of the clubs?
I mean, you could rattle off names to the clubs because Wolf will be still quite staring between them, but he's going for arty things in the end. So
Fair enough. There's a lot of the club.
Silas is looking at everything, all the clubs,
Fair enough.
not making a choice.
Is Ash looking for anything in particular? Or Alana?
I honestly think that Alana has mild interest in, and it's gonna be really weird sounding for a club, but like musical theories. Not necessarily like, acquire anything, 'cause she has no fucking charisma, but she's curious about it regardless.
That's probably what Prismality's looking into. Ash, meanwhile, is kind of just more or less looking at everything, looking more at like the sort of more like magically inclined clubs, like especially if there's anything for like how do I word this? I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, we can always come back to it. But yeah, you go looking about. There's a few different clubs advertising themselves. There's the Soul Ridge Academy Orchestra. There is the Equestrian Club. There is Magical Crafts. There is the Sword Appreciation Club.
Ooh, magic crafts.
There's also
I do have to approve of the idea of a sword appreciation club.
it's like when you get those clubs where it's like the pizza club, where we don't actually do anything, but they still like kind of just want to be in a club because you get like a little small dividend that you can use to spend on shit.
I know, but I'm just amused with the idea of a sword appreciation club.
That's fair. What else is fair? There's a general drama class, if any of you are into that. There's a lot of the like clubs you'd expect, like there's chess, there's like arts and crafts and stuff like that, maybe like a pottery class. There is MMMA, which is Mixed Magical Martial Arts.
I like that one.
Wait, what?
Mixed magical martial arts.
What does that pertain?
Well, if you start going up to them reading their brochures, apparently Soulridge Academy had basically a smattering of different dueling clubs, but then they all started to argue because they wanted to be called Soulridge Dueling Club, the most, prestigious of titles. Eventually, Steve got very bored of their shit and just decided to merge them all, claiming that fighting different, people of different specifications than you is good life experience, end quote.
Fair enough, actually.
That is entirely fair.
But the idea is every so often, if you join the club, you're basically open to invitations from those from other students. There's a general ranking. There's probably about like 80-ish people in the club, so you start off at the bottom and you have to build your way up.
Oh,
I do have to ask now, is it possible to have be more than one club?
Yeah, you can be in more than one club, just keep in mind that certain clubs, demand more time of you.
Join all the clubs.
The Sword Appreciation Club probably doesn't demand that much of you. The MMMA probably just demands of you whenever people come to like challenge you.
Because I think Wolf is signing up on the spot.
Yeah, I think Alana would also be interested enough that she would just sign up.
I stare at the scarf. I stare at the scarf as we're next to each other at the booth.
Let me note that down.
Question: does the Mixed Magical Martial Arts Club include psychic dueling?
Yes. Well, that's a bit more awkward because psychic duels tend to be more of a higher level thing.
I know.
Like at least second level.
So level
you could
3.
probably find but most students probably get to that in like their third or fourth. Well, probably not, but like late second, early third. You could probably find a group of I'll probably give it some fancy like Psychica Esoterica who do stuff like that.
Yeah, I feel like for the lower level students that want to join in, they've probably got a mediator who can actually cast the spell.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying. I feel like there's going to be like an occult club that really focuses on that. So.
There's probably a occult club made half up of people who don't actually know how to do psychic stuff and people who are actually psychic. It gets very confusing.
I mean, the fact is, just because you're not psychic doesn't mean you can't be part of the occult because you can have psychic sensitivity or just like study like rituals and stuff.
It's true.
It's all occult.
There are a few others I can name off since you're listing them down. There's the Delvers Society, which, as you gather, is for people who actually enjoy doing dungeon delving. There is the Upper Society Solidarity Club.
Or Pompous are us.
Yeah, I think we just found where Silas is going.
Yes, he is definitely joining them.
Their rationale is they are expected to keep up their high-class decorum while also being, inundated with the more common folk, so they have formed a society so that they may keep up their noble graces whilst attending the school.
I'm so tempted to have Ipos try and join them. Just to watch the chaos.
I mean, if you want to try for it.
I mean, he's not there. He's gone off to the other events, but it's tempting.
Like most of the way that most of these things like sign you up is they have like a charter. You sign it with your name. And that's basically it. There's probably like some information of you're expected to attend meetings every so often, blah blah blah, or what's expected of you. But beyond that, I mean, if you have an idea of a club in mind, it probably exists, or if it doesn't, hell, maybe you can even make it yourself. Become club leader. Deal with politics. Cry. Deal with politics again.
That's a
There's some
mood.
more. Any more mundane clubs? Yep. There's like
Underwater basket weaving?
there's not underwater basket weaving. That's a full degree sideline. You can't expect people to take up as a hobby.
You're right. It's not a hobby.
But there's definitely just stuff like that. There's like pottery. There's like thingy dance clubs. There's like even just general woodwinds and such like that. You don't necessarily need to list all these down, Bigby, but I mean some of them might grab your attention more than others.
This is just in case. Also, in case Torrance hearing
That's
cuts
fair.
out.
J-Mac, for your own convenience, by the way,
It is helpful.
I've started to list down some stuff for Wolf on his character sheet.
Sure.
You can peek on his bio page. Above where his backstory used to be, there is now his classes and the clubs.
Cool. I'll probably ask everyone to do that at some point, but until the classes start, there's no rush.
But today is not that day.
Yeah, Wolf is going to be joining the Mixed Magical Martial Arts Club and the Art Club. Two very different clubs, to be honest.
And you could fight with art. What's that martial art style called where it's like you dance but you fight?
Blade and brush.
That's not really Wolf's style, though. Paintbrush is his style.
Now he needs to become a wizard with his paintbrush being his focus.
Yeah, Krav
Draw your
Maga.
magic. Yeah, that's it.
Though actually, Wolf's a bit better right now with just kind of like a piece of charcoal. In sketches, but
That's fair.
Also, I
Still
don't think
like-
that's actually correct because Krav Maga is the Israeli defense
maybe I think
forces
of
martial
something
arts.
Well, maybe they're all like top tier hip hop dancers. I don't know. I'm not Iraq.
Israel, J-Mac.
Israel, same thing. I failed
Wow.
geography.
No,
I-
you.
I failed
Wow.
geography
Wow.
3 times. Don't expect me to know where anywhere in the world is.
I will say, saying those two are the same places caused literal wars.
That's fair. But also, I don't know anything about this. I'm probably gonna flub over myself anyway.
So, anyone watching this, Jamek isn't racist. He's just dumb.
Yeah, it's me too. I understand.
Geography is my a fan. You could like throw a geography book at me and I'll like scatter like into a group of cockroaches.
I now have my JMAC repellent.
J-Mac, is there a student council?
There is. Are you angling for it?
Yes.
I mean,
It would
is it
be-
any surprise he wants to be part of school policy?
It would be foolish of Silas not to. He would be doing his house a shame if he did not.
That's
He's
fair.
aiming for the president's spot already.
Wow,
Perhaps.
first year student on his second day already trying to join the council.
He is aiming for the position of power. It might not be the president in this. Who knows? There might be a spy master or something.
I mean,
For the student council.
I'm just saying you might start as treasurer or something.
I have seen enough animes to know the student council is all powerful.
This isn't Kill la Kill.
No, watch any anime. The student council is always supremely powerful.
More powerful than the actual
They're-
teacher body.
They're usually
Yes.
evil as well.
Well, that-
Not
that's
always.
fair.
Actually, I say that depends. Are your protagonists part of student council? If so, they're not evil. If they're not part of student council, they are.
Is this school function like Crow Zero, where there's a bunch of gangs?
No. Well, I mean, I guess you could take the clubs as gangs, but a lot more nerdier.
I'm trying to determine if Silas joining the student council would make it evil or not evil.
Yes.
Silas is purely neutral.
I'm just saying, though, if this was anime, you would then end up recruiting wolves to build a discipline committee.
Oh, Lord. The discipline committee. But to answer your question, Silas, yes, there's a student council. They hold basically elections. I feel like that's the proper name. Later in the year. Probably give it a month or so.
Okay, good to know.
You know, it's time to let everyone actually get into their studies before they go, hey, let's take on this other role. That's probably
Fair,
going to keep
fair.
me very busy.
By the
Well,
way,
Tekken...
Sorry, I want to comment for Silent. You know how you mentioned like all the clubs now being gangs. Now, I like the idea of someone underestimating the art club, and then suddenly there's Wolf there with his giant hammer in the art room.
Or better yet, Wolf just has a giant paintbrush.
I mean, he can still use that as a great club, so that's fine.
Yep.
This is a novelty weapon.
Anyway, you may continue.
Yes. I was just gonna say, I don't think I've ever seen a student council in any shape or form be like effective.
You're wrong.
No, I had a student council that was semi-effective. I was admittedly actually a little bit part of it at one stage, but
Yeah.
it was semi-effective. Though in fairness, they weren't as ambitious as some student councils.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But they had goals. One of them was like to change the cafeteria menu. There was a few other ones like to get certain things installed. No, all happened. It just admittedly took a while, but they happened.
Yeah, I feel like media is definitely like giving me an outlandish view on what we should do and don't.
Yeah. Our student council back in high school was like, we got some shirts made and we made a float.
So the student council the one thing the student council did do, which was really, really cool, is they managed to get us a PlayStation installed in the student lounge. This is when we were like talking the 17, 18-year-old like sixth form students. But yeah, in the student lounge, we managed to get our PlayStation.
We had a Nintendo 64.
I hate all of you. We weren't even allowed to play poker.
We had GoldenEye on it. That's like the only thing anyone ever played on it. Just 4-player GoldenEye.
In my high school, in the computer lab, we had LAN StarCraft 1 fights and stuff.
Oh, that
but
would have been awesome.
It didn't last terribly long.
I remember one time my boyfriend basically took over a computer lab one time with a bunch of his mates in college, loaded up Doom onto the computers and just sat there playing Doom. And then one of the teachers came in, they managed to bullshit it that they were using the game as a network test to test latency, and they got away with it.
Perfect.
I was the kid in high school where I actually got the admin password. I installed Dwarf Fortress on computers.
I mean, in that case, I'm just going to post you something, Big Bang. I'm going to post it in random chat, because it's literally got just posted a few minutes ago in the Acolyte chat.
We've also started going so far off topic.
That's true.
Yes.
Which, since you spoke up, said Tinder. That's true. Since you spoke up, Tinder, let's flash over to Ipos. Ipos, would Ipos have like read any of the things about how to navigate the school or such? There are technically signs.
Probably not. I mean, he has a sense of direction. I make no guarantee how good it is. He can probably technically read signs. I make no promises of whether he actually would. He trusts his instinct a lot.
Oof, okay. Roll me a charisma check, since that's typically luck, I guess.
What? Charisma check? Okay. Where has that gone? There we go. 22!
Damn.
He's
okay,
a sorcerer.
There's one of the things that you've noticed about the school is it feels a little bit larger on the inside than it is at the outside. You're not entirely sure what's all up with that, but
it's a TARDIS school.
Perhaps. But Ipos, with his unique view of things, aka being small-sized, you actually find a crawl space which basically it seems to lead to a lot of other places within the school very quickly. You might want to mark down that you found a shortcut.
Found shortcut.
This doesn't have any specific route or so, but this is something you can always call up should there be an event where it's like, I need to get somewhere before someone.
It's like, oh shit, I'm almost late for class. Use the crawl space.
Exactly. Whether or not you also want to share with someone or perhaps barter with the information is also up to you.
I shall keep it in mind.
After crawling about in the dust for a little bit, it doesn't seem that many other people, if they know of this crawl space, seem to use it. You do eventually make it to the spell labs. It's pretty deserted. There's like one kid there who's like attempting to cast cantrips to get past the magical Simon Says, but is failing pretty miserably.
Is it that cantrips don't work, or that he's using the wrong cantrips?
You don't. Do you have any? You said you don't have any knowledge of spellcraft or
Yeah,
Arcana,
no,
do you?
I am not trained in either, and I have a flat 10 intelligence.
You just notice him casting and then like cursing as he does it, as if fuck, it's not the one I needed. Perhaps he just doesn't have what he needs, but he's just trying to brute force it with enough time.
Ipos sort of watches for him for a minute, then trots up and basically pokes him like in the middle of his back, just lightly with the blunt of his spear. It's like, hey, you do it wrong. That wrong spell. Why you cast that spell? That's silly.
I'll get it eventually. Go away. He kind of like waves a hand at Ipos, not really doing anything, just kind of general warding him away. You notice he's wearing like a big thick pair of gloves, all the way up to his like almost his elbow.
What spell kind of thing is the Simon Says currently looking for?
Let's find out, shall we? Oops. That's not how you gem roll. It is currently looking for... Where'd I put it? As you're standing there kind of talking to him, it flashes up with kind of a red fire symbol, and the kid suddenly goes, yes! And he casts a spell, bursts of gouts of flame just like flying from his fingertips, and the kind of magical slate of the magical Simon Says just flashes green, and then moves on to the next one.
Ipos claps a few times. Yes, that's the right one.
Okay.
That's like a symbol for conjuration or something. Watch.
Perhaps. Number 4. The next that comes up with a purple eye is very stylized, and you see that he starts to panic a little bit, fumbles with his fingers, and the magical Simon Says flashes red and resets to the beginning. He just kind of kicks the wall and goes, fuck, I almost had it that time.
You need help? I good with magic. I help. What was that one it needed?
I think it's divination. I can't.
Divination. I have a divination, I believe. I need to
It doesn't know schools of magic anyway.
I was gonna say, does Ipos know what divination means?
He would know what the word means technically, just possibly not exactly what would be in that school, but he'd be able to like make connections. Like divination, nation. Oh, see future stuff. Yes, I has that, and he just casts guidance. It's a divination school.
It's true. Before the screen gets a chance to flash red, then it flashes green once more. The kid goes, wait, yes, okay, we can definitely get this next one. Okay. This magical Simon Says, then asks for... Okay, it shows up with an ear with kind of like waves radiating out from it. And the kid kind of goes, Sonic, can you make loud boom?
I cast. I forget what the actual name is. I've called it Static Shout. It is that. There you go. It is a sonic. At least it does sonic damage. But yeah, ear-piercing scream.
It is a sonic effect. Sure, you cast ear-piercing scream with its, ear-piercing scream has that nice, lovely effect where even when you cast it, other people can't hear only the thing you're targeting at.
Mm-hmm.
And as you do so, the screen flashes green. It then shuts down.
Sort of
but you
blinks.
notice,
Is that it?
Kid next to you seems pretty excited. He kind of goes over to the screen. A little kind of like flap underneath it just kind of shoots up and spits out some coins. Because finally, I've been here all morning. Thank you. What was your name?
Ipos is Ipos, and he sort of trots up and looks at the coins. Ooh, shinies.
Yeah, I've seen... This machine only lets you go every so often, only lets you do it so many times per day, when you win. So I've been trying to get as many coins. I think there's some kind of reward at the end of this if we get enough. He kind of looks, spat out 3 coins, and he kind of gives you what? Roll me diplomacy.
Diplomacy. Ipos can diplomatize. He actually has a rank in it. There you
Okay.
go. 29, nat 20.
Jesus Christ. He kind of looks at the coins, considers in his head, looks to you. Does Ipos do anything specific as he diplomatizes? Quotation marks.
Essentially, he's just looking at the coins with, like... Imagine, like, the big puppy eyes, but on a kobold. It's slightly unsettling.
The kid kind of just, like, has this mental moral dilemma where he just kind of goes, oh, you did most of it. And he just kind of hands Ipos 2 of the coins.
I shall take them. It's like, oh, thank you. More shinies. He pockets them. You do more, yes? You say can repeat? Get more?
I'll see if it'll let me. I haven't figured out how many times it lets you. He kind of goes up to it, casts just a spark cantrip, and it doesn't flash up again. Well, it seems I'm out of it for today.
Ipos tilts his head and just casts a cantrip on it to see if he can activate it.
Let's see.